is in the know for Monday, August 22, the 234th day of 2022. There are 131 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In The Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Day number 11 of Where's Quacky? And St. Paul School has a new principal. We think you may recognize him. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In The Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
It's been a few days since I have brought you an old-timey word that maybe needs to make a comeback.
Okay.
I do those from time to time, and today's word is awkward. It's like backward, only without the B. It's awkward.
Okay.
And awkward is when a turtle or any other animal is upside down on its back and can't get up.
Okay.
It's awkward.
Okay.
But it seems like that would be more we say something is upside down. Awkward seems to be maybe a little bit better, but awkward seems and backward seem to be switched when you move awkward, or if you're upside down, like bottom side up.
Here is awkward.
It is a little awkward, yes, and so this moment is a little awkward. But the next time you see a turtle, you say, oh, look, that turtle is awkward. It is on its back and can't get up. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award, and he's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Are your muscles sore from all that East Kentucky flooding relief that you did on Saturday, loading up that truck?
Luckily, I left that up to. The Norder family was on top of it.
Ah.
The Norder, more the Norder kids.
Okay.
And I give props to Fred Norder, who was one of the leaders of it, and he was making his kids do all the work. I respect it.
Were there some football players out there
too?
I
saw
we tweeted a photo that had some football players. So they were the horsepower of getting everything loaded. You were the promotional arm. Is that fair to say?
And I kind of stood next to the sheriff, and it was good because, as you know, the sheriff was just like, good work, everyone.
Oh yeah, rah rah, and everybody along while other people do the work.
You said it. You said it. I danced around it.
I'm not afraid. Good turnout though. Like good response from people on Saturday.
Yeah, I know. The last I checked, they had 25,000 pounds, but after we said that, it was like a steady flow of more and more people bringing in smaller goods, which was good to see.
Good bunch of money too. That was
at least $12,000
matched by Behind the Badge. So it's great. Thanks to Grayson County for responding, and thanks to everybody who was there to help, whether it's lift a case or load a truck or give some promotion or whatever it took to get that accomplished. So thank you and congratulations. Weather forecast for this week. Sunny, quiet start to the week. We're going to see mostly sunny skies expected today as temperatures will climb into the low to mid 80s. We're going to see mostly clear to partly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Lows fall into the 60s by tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny for tomorrow with lower humidity. We'll see mostly sunny, 85 today. Partly cloudy, 66 tonight. Mostly sunny for tomorrow and a high of 86. International news headlines seeing today that the daughter of an influential Russian political theorist, often referred to as Putin's brain, was killed in a car bombing on the outskirts of Moscow. The Moscow branch of the Russian Investigative Committee said preliminary investigation indicated a 29-year-old TV commentator, Daria Dugina, was killed by an explosive planted in the SUV she was driving on Saturday night. So this is only going to, if this has Ukrainian involvement, this is only going to go to make matters worse on the geopolitical landscape between Russia and Ukraine. Closer to home, there was a large police presence in the Quail Run subdivision late Sunday afternoon as the Litchfield Police Department was involved in about a 3-hour standoff. About 5 o'clock yesterday, police were dispatched to a home on Nancy Drive where a man was reported inside with a gun and he was threatening to harm himself. When police officers arrived, they eventually made contact with him, and just before, after talking it through, just before 8 o'clock, the standoff ended peacefully. So multiple law enforcement agencies assisting there at the scene for that issue.
It's good that ended as positively as possible.
It's when you hear something ends peacefully and without injury, that's the most you can hope for. Friday night, about 9:40, Grayson County Dispatch received informed officers of a reckless driving complaint on an eastbound Chevy Tahoe in the 3000 block of Owensboro Road near Ray Pretty Road. Law enforcement officers responded and saw the vehicle and attempted to execute a traffic stop at the intersection of West Main and Old Hartford Road. The vehicle did not pull over until reaching the 600 block of West Main. They made contact with 44-year-old Robert Sarver of Litchfield. It was detected to have a strong odor of alcohol and glassy, bloodshot eyes. The Sarver was also driving an expired license. He refused to undergo a field sobriety test and a preliminary breath test. He was transported to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes, where he made threats against officers, threatening to kill them. He was arrested and lodged. Got some information this morning from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet that indicates additional information is forthcoming in the not too distant future. And the release from Chris Jesse with the District 4 of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, I'm just going to read it to you, and then that way you'll have exactly the same information that we have. And it says, in recent weeks, citizens and local leaders have shared concerns with us regarding a pause in work along the US 62 project between Litchfield and Clarkson in Grayson County. In February 2021, Charles DeWeese Construction Incorporated was awarded a $6.51 million contract to make improvements from the Litchfield bypass to just east of Beehive Curve. Work on this project continued until early summer and then came to a standstill when the contractor pulled off the job, leaving it about halfway finished. The original expectation of this specified working days contract was to have the project completed by this fall. It goes on to say, we regret the extended period of inconvenience on local property owners and motorists, but a timeline of the continuing construction is not currently available. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is actively seeking courses of action to finish the project and will provide updates as they become available. So, obviously, this has gotten some attention. If you travel through this corridor frequently, you saw, things were moving along and you saw earth-moving equipment and you can see where the new road is going, utilities relocated, and you think, okay, this will be wrapping up sometime in the fall. But in the month of June, I think is when we, at least Grayson County Fiscal Court, first learned publicly that there was a problem with the financial situation of the company that the contract was let to. Now, I have it on pretty good authority. This is not the only contract that this particular construction company has pulled off the job of. I think there were multiple contracts let in different portions of the state. So it's not just limited to this particular job site, and it's not just particularly limited to our area or even our district. Now, here's where it gets a little complex. Those projects are bonded by people. So you've got a bonder who basically vouches over here for the project and for the parties involved in the project. But it's the same as any other business transaction. So let's say that a guy, let's say you have a contract to build your home, and then your contractor just vanishes and doesn't show up. The practical things you think, well, you just get another contractor to come in and finish the job. Well, that might be okay if it's your home. If it might be okay with if you haven't paid, but when you've got payments in the middle or payments that have been made, then you can't rebid the contract for just my point is it's a very complex issue, and it will end up getting litigated in some way by someone. But anytime even like a bank is trying to take possession of a property to resell that they might be foreclosing on, if you will, they still have to follow the judicial process and the timelines until they're at liberty to find a solution to the problem. So, person like me who tries to look at things logically and practically would go, well, if they're not going to finish the job, just call another contractor that's not busy that can do the job and pay them to finish it. Well, it's just not that simple. And so
Is there such thing as a not busy road contractor?
well, probably not good ones.
Yeah, and that's also kind of the thing that I've always been curious is it's like even if you're at work and somebody brings you a project that's halfway done and says finish it, it's a little like, ooh, that's not my project. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That you would rather almost start your own so that you
it
know
also
you can
makes
put
you wonder,
your stamp on it.
Was it done correctly?
Exactly, and that's probably got to be part of it.
If you have to vouch for it as a whole, then you're worried, well, were there shortcuts taken? I don't know.
I'm sure if Chris Jesse called you today and said, hey, we need you to get your road machine out there and fix it, you'd probably be a little curious as to was it done right.
I operated a digger in a sandbox a couple of times at the state park. I can move some earth around.
I'm sure you could get a lay out there to help you too.
Listen, I just want to tell you, this thing is not going to be resolved in a couple of weeks. If you travel through that area, I don't want you to be, don't expect a silver bullet fix to this. And so while it has gone the summer and there's been really no activity, then you just probably want to adjust your expectations for it to take longer rather than shorter. And I believe, and Chris knows, when they do have more information, when the Transportation Cabinet has more actionable information that they can pass along, not speculation, not we hope, actual information that says, here's the new timeline for what's going to happen, they'll share that. And Chris knows that he can come on anytime and share that with people so they know what to expect. It's so weird, though, when you go down that stretch and you see where the new road is going to go in front of the Kelly Company. It's like, it would be so simple to just it's a straight line. It could go through there.
It's going to be really nice when it is. When it is finished.
It hopefully will.
And it's even
will
like teased it too, because it's got like I'm not even going to try and guess what it is on there, but it's like, it's not real road, but it looks like it is almost.
By the way, what is that, Oakwood? Is that Oakwood, the street that goes out to the big subdivision?
They got
out
to be
there?
the ones.
Those are the folks that have to be
or even on the houses on the other side of the Kelly B.
The maddest, that have to, just because of living with the disruption for that long. It's understandable. But even Fountain View Estates, the entrance in those businesses up 62, it's I would imagine it's just not a pleasant experience.
You really got to get to the Olson's Mercantile.
Yes, you got to really want to, don't you, Sam? The U.S. Army's Criminal Investigation Division is investigating the death of a soldier from Elizabethtown. Denisha Montgomery, she's age 27, was found the afternoon of August 9, unresponsive in her barracks room in Lucius Clay Kaserne in Wiesbaden, Germany. It's according to the Stars and Stripes. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. The reason we're mentioning, she's from Elizabethtown. She's mother of three. She was assigned to the 139th MP Company. She was scheduled to return to Georgia at Fort Stewart sometime next month. Someone describing herself as Montgomery's aunt wrote in a public Facebook post that Montgomery had been attacked by other soldiers 2 weeks prior to her death. The post continues saying that Montgomery was waiting to return to Fort Stewart before filing a report on the incident. So, mysterious death.
She's 28.
For that servicewoman. 27.
20 and 3 kids. That's terrible.
27 and serving our country and loses her life. The high school football season kicked off on Friday night. And, Sam, after 2 quarters of football, the Cougar faithful weren't particularly happy, but as poorly as the Cougars started, they finished the opposite way, finished strong, held the Wildcats scoreless in the second half to, what was the final score?
33-12. So the Tobacco Stick stays painted orange and blue for the 4th straight time. That's the first time they've ever had it 4 straight times. So it's good. And it was a good game. I mean, the score does not, because Grayson put it on in the 4th quarter and really opened it up, but it was a really good game for 3 quarters.
What were you thinking at halftime when the Cougars were down 12-0?
Well, I know Kaler, who's my color analyst, he used the restroom in the football building, and he came back and he said, "Oh."
He still has his pass.
He does. I have not received that honor yet. But I said, how's it going in there? He says, "Oh, it's going how you can imagine."
Mm-hmm. Lots of paint peeling.
Yeah, but they won. And you know what? And as Coach Jones and I talked afterwards, in 10 years, you won't remember how it happened. You'll just remember that you won.
Sure. Muhlenberg County lost. John
Yeah,
Hardin
that one
lost.
kind of surprised me.
Big. Breckenridge County blanked by Hancock County 56-0.
Hancock County's really good.
Hart County 63-0 over Caverna. Owensboro lost to St. X. Mayfield beat Graves County 36-0. That's an upcoming Cougar opponent. McLean County, an upcoming Cougar opponent, defeated Ohio County 28-6. And then Barron County gets beat by Metcalfe County 12-9. Is that an indicator of why Barron County was trying to do some last-minute maneuvering to play the Cougars instead of playing someone else?
I mean,
on Friday night.
I mean, I'm not saying, but
it's a possibility.
it's a possibility. There's no doubt that when the team that they were going to play won 63-0, that might not be necessarily the.
Gotcha. The Reds beat the Pirates 9-5 yesterday. That's good for Reds fans. Kyle Larson edged out Chase Elliott to win at Watkins Glen yesterday in kind
I
of
didn't know
a
they were at the Glen.
controversial type of finish there, but Hendricks finishes 1-2. And yeah, I know you've been waiting for some supply line good news, focusing on the supply chain issues. It's all been bad news when it comes to supply line over the last couple of years. You may rejoice in the news that chicken wing prices have fallen to pre-pandemic levels, in an indication that chicken wings availability and affordability have resolved themselves. Then just in time for football season.
I like myself some chicken wings.
Wings are back, baby. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk St. Paul School. We're going to talk that and a whole lot more coming up here on In the Know.
Cormark is now hiring. If you are in search of a goal-oriented career, look no further. Cormark is here. We are ready to support you and your career goals. Cormark now offers competitive starting rates with incentive that allows you to earn up to $20 an hour in your first 90 days. You'll discover a culture that encourages you to grow, challenges to achieve, and embraces you as family. Show us your power and earn the money you deserve. Cormark now offers starting rates with incentive that allows you to earn up to $20 an hour in your first 90 days. Apply online at careers.cormark.com.
Living on the lake is a luxury. Lake homeowners have been supplementing their properties with the best quality rock, stone, and asphalt products from Scotty's Contracting and Stone for years. Scotty's Quarry has been serving our lake customers with cleaner, underground mined, pure limestone for driveways, landscaping, and construction projects. Our crushed stone products can also be used to assist in erosion control near waterways. If you live on the lake, contact Scotty's Contracting and Stone for an estimate on high-quality products and service at 270-259-5696.
When caring for a family member, their state of health is continually on your mind. And when they're faced with a health concern, you'll do just about anything to make them feel better. Rest assured, their Feel Better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know all about your family's health history so we can provide you with educated advice. So when someone's counting on you to help them maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
Facebook and Instagram have removed the accounts of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s organization, one of the nation's biggest anti-vaccine groups. On Thursday, Facebook and Instagram's parent company Meta said it removed the accounts of Children's Health Defense for repeatedly violating the company's policies on medical misinformation during the coronavirus pandemic. Kennedy said in a statement, Facebook is acting here as a surrogate for the federal government's crusade to silence all criticism of draconian government policies. Broadband internet access now available on Mount Kilimanjaro. A CBS News report says the Wi-Fi service availability was officially announced by Tanzania's Minister of Information in a tweet this past Wednesday. The report says also that Mount Everest, the world's tallest, has had Wi-Fi service since 2010. And Tesla's full self-driving system is about to get more expensive. CEO Elon Musk announced over the weekend that the FSD would go from $12,000 to $15,000. That's the second price hike this year for the FSD. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield, NBC.
ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. I'll simple as slow, break me. ABC, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl.
Today is Eat a Peach Day. It is also Tooth Fairy Day today, and it is Southern Hemisphere Hootie Hoo Day. But perhaps most importantly, it is day number 11 of Where's Quacky. Day number 11 of Where's Quacky, sponsored by the Grayson County Alliance. We should first say congratulations to Kelly Brasher. She knew that on Friday, Quacky spent the day at the Litchfield Aquatic Center. Quacky was getting all familiar with the Aquatic Center where the Ducking Hunger Regatta will be on September 5th. So here's today's. Congratulations, Kelly. You've got your own duck in the Ducking Hunger Regatta and just won a K105 t-shirt, so congratulations. Here's day number 11 of Where's Quacky on our Facebook page. You'll find this photograph. And in the comment section, tell us where Quacky is spending the day today. And perhaps this time tomorrow, we will be announcing your name as the day number 11 winner of Where's Quacky. We also say good morning today and welcome back to both Father Steve Homan and Principal Todd Johnston from St. Paul. Good morning, men. How are you?
Good morning.
Doing great.
Welcome back. Father Homan, you've been here several times. I know Todd also needs no introduction, but I didn't even know until you emailed a couple of weeks ago that apparently you all have finally reached the bottom of the barrel on principal nominations, and you selected rookie. But he has no experience. He has no wisdom in leadership. He doesn't know how to organize teams. You must have just been held against your will to name Todd as your leader at St. Paul School.
Well, interestingly enough, he found us. We didn't really find him. He had asked about getting the job before the job was available.
That's right.
Last year.
He was measuring the drapes?
He was.
Okay,
yes,
got it.
Yes. When Chris Reed was principal, he kind of made the comment to him at one point, well, whenever you leave this position, maybe I'll take it. So he successfully pushed Chris Reed out of the job then. And
I did, and it was a tough field. And
hostile takeover.
Yeah, luckily they chose me out of probably 20, 25 candidates.
Yeah, something like that.
Todd, you wear so many different hats and have worn so many different hats. And when you finished your time at the central office and retired, I know what a young man you are because we're somewhat contemporaries. You're way too young to stop doing anything, but took a little break as is required, and then kind of measured what you want to do going forward. And obviously, you still have a desire, and I would guess maybe we would say a need to stay involved in education. What was your thinking on that?
Well, retiring, I kind of hit a wall at central office and made the decision to retire, thinking that I'd probably get back into coaching at some point. And like Father said, I did talk to Chris Reed about possibility of St. Paul, and it's such a unique community, tight-knit community, and it's also a group of kids that I've never been around before. So it keeps me involved with the kids, and that's why you get into education. That's why you get into coaching. But with a K through preschool through 8th grade, I have never been around that group of kids. So it's a new experience, a new challenge, and something that I've really enjoyed up to this point.
One of your predecessors, and I'm sure someone that I'm going to go out on a limb and probably say was a mentor at some level, Barry Anderson, always talked to me about how he started out in the classroom, more specifically in the gym at Wilkie, and just kind of when he moved into leadership as a principal, and then he moved to the central office, and then he was a superintendent. He said, every day I felt further and further away from the classroom. Mm-hmm. And as an educator, that's what called me to the profession, was being an educator and having direct one-on-one access to young people and influencing them. I guess in addition to it being a demographic that you hadn't taught, my guess is also to peel away all that leadership stuff and just focus on education.
Absolutely. And, with that age of kids, they're teenagers. We have teenagers there, but the young ones are the ones that, they come to school every single day smiling, laughing, and you can't help but be in a good mood around those kids. But that's exactly, with Mr. Anderson, feeling like you get farther and farther away from why you got into this business. And that's 100% true, because now, I go to work, I'm happy, I see the kids and the teachers are great. And, I get hugged more at school today than I've ever in my career. And, little kids are always excited. And, and again, the St. Paul community is
they make it that great as well. And the parents are so supportive, and everybody, Father Steve, kids. So you go to work knowing you're supported, and that you can make a difference with those kids.
Father Steve, what is it about Todd and his kind of approach that makes him a good fit for St. Paul?
Well, I'm surprised that he went to high school and the high school kids didn't run up to him and hug him each day. When you're a principal at St. Paul's School, it's a very different kind of job than most principal jobs. You're much more hands-on with the kids. It's a small community. We have 83 kids. And so he's in there working with recess and PE with the kids. He's, you see the kids in the hallway. They know him. He knows every one of their names. And so we're blessed to have him. I mean, he comes here with a lot of experience. And that's, I've been saying it all the time I've been here, when we've needed somebody to fill a position, the Lord sent us the right person every time, whether it's teachers or, cafeteria staff. The only exception to that actually has been bus driver. We can't find a CDL bus driver. So
he doesn't want me driving a bus.
It's the one thing he cannot do, apparently, we found out. Mm-hmm. Father Steve, you mentioned something a moment ago. I believe I heard you say 83 students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember checking in with you at various mileposts over the last few years, and and also, having kind of an unvarnished look at, does the St. Paul School have longevity? Will it survive?
Sure.
There have been ebbs, there have been flows, there have been peaks, there have been valleys. I think it's wonderful news. An amazing testament to God's work in the St. Paul community that your number is up to 83, which sounds like a number that maybe it's not as high as you'd love to have, but you have to be grateful at that number.
Yeah, we are. And it's been a resurrection story for our school. 10 years ago, we were 18 students in the entire school. Now we're up to 83. We were a few more than that last year, but we're doing well, and we're working on our addition. We're putting an addition on the school, building 4 new rooms. We've pretty much maxed out as we've hired more faculty. So we need a couple extra rooms. Actually, we're building 4 extra rooms onto it. So we're in the process of that and raising money for it and getting. We were blessed to get the property right next door to the place, which we're going to build that addition on. So yeah, it really has been a great resurrection story for us.
Todd, what is the biggest difference you see from your role, your most previous role in public education, especially at the central office level, but then just diving headfirst back into the private school landscape? What's some of the most noticeable differences for you?
Well, the obvious one is there's no separation of church and state. Obviously, we begin every day with prayer, end every day with prayer, go to Mass a couple of times a week. But, the small classrooms is, St. Paul's a hidden gem. It really is. And, we've got 12 to 15 kids in a group. So, educationally, that is such a benefit to those students. They get a lot of one-on-one time, and, the support of the parents. Obviously in public schools you have supportive parents, but you also have some that's not quite so supportive. But, everybody's willing to help. It's a gem. It's something that I've really enjoyed the first couple of weeks of taking over August 1st. And I do know all the kids by name, surprisingly, and 83 of them. So that individual attention that you can give each kid and know. And, I was talking earlier, there's sometimes at the high school, a kid would walk across the stage at graduation and I'd be like, I can't remember their name because 1,300 kids is a little hard to get everybody. But, here it's not an issue. It's such a tight-knit community, tight-knit school, and it's a blessing to our community to still have St. Paul and the fact that it keeps growing.
In your defense, though, at your time at Grayson County High School, I know you often were referred to, and Doug, after you were labeled as Monday through Friday from 7 to 3. You were the mayor of the second largest city in Grayson County. Mm-hmm. There's no way a mayor of a town that size knows everyone's name. So I just think that's just because of the scale and the size. But I think what you're saying is your ability to be involved in more classrooms, to have a more intimate face-to-face relationship with your faculty, your students. It just creates a real sense of community that maybe the big system doesn't really allow for.
Absolutely, it really does, and that's obviously a benefit to St. Paul is. Like we were saying, the small classroom, the teachers, the relationships, and not to say anything bad about our public school systems. I love Grayson County schools, but it's just different. And I didn't even realize how different until I got there. So it's been a blessing for me, and hopefully I can be a positive impact on those students and even the staff.
Well, in this post-COVID, environment, and even during COVID, parents were, forced to make a lot of tough choices, and they were out of necessity required to pay more attention to education. It's either because in some ways they became the teacher and then they said, "Whew, I don't want any part of this," or they said they had greater appreciation for those who are in the educational profession and trying to do this. And then you had some people that said, this isn't really working for us the way we're doing it. We want to do something different. And so it's nice to, I guess, from a parent standpoint, it's nice to have choice. And Father Steve, if people are looking at making that choice, what do they do? How do they engage with St. Paul School to kind of understand if it's the proper home for them or not?
Well, we welcome students to come visit our school, especially now, like I said, with COVID being done. And so we've had students come visit for the day. We've had parents come just to take a look at the place, and we're always available for visits, for tours, that sort of thing. And we have taken in some new students, especially over the last few years, and we're very reasonably priced, really surprisingly so for a Catholic school. So yeah, they're welcome to give us a call anytime and we'll set up a time for them to come take a closer look at meet the teachers, meet the students, and so yeah, our doors are always open. We have a couple of classes that are actually filled up, but most of them do have room left for them.
Isn't it remarkable that a decade ago you wouldn't have thought of the idea of having any of your classes filled, and now suddenly you do?
Right.
Todd, something you said earlier about, and you were careful to say, and I'm glad you did. You were careful to say it's not that public school parents don't care, because they certainly do, but you get all varying levels of engagement of parental across that spectrum. And as against the landscape of a religious education, I was thinking of I heard a leader in our congregation one time say that if you don't give enough to God's work, if you don't give enough to the congregation, you care less. If you give more, you care more in the outcome and the byproducts and the work that is done. What I have found in the public school genre is that when you have your resources directly involved in the educational experience, you care more, you're engaged more, you've made a choice to do something different, and you get just a different level of engagement. Is that kind of what you're feeling, Todd?
100%. And the parents are actively involved in the day-to-day operations of fundraising. They're always there for us whenever we need, and they contribute supplies, they bring them in, they make sure we have everything we need, and again, they're well invested in that community. Failure of that school is not an option. It's just not an option. They're going to do everything they can to keep it going, and and again, a testament to Father Steve and Chris when he was principal is now we're adding on. You have to build 4 new classrooms, and so we'll have a lot of spots available if people are interested to come. But once they get there, they will not be disappointed.
Now, I also should point out that your household is still very highly represented at the central office.
Absolutely.
We were really super happy for Tracy and her move to the central office. I exchanged email with her a few weeks ago, just congratulating her. I know she's excited.
Well, he's also related to most of our students at St. Paul as well.
Well, you're right. With my mom growing up in that area and being a milliner, there's milliners I meet every day that I know I'm related to, and Higdons and everything else.
Are you also keeping your eye out across those 83 students for those who can dribble a basketball maybe more than the average person can?
Well, like Father said, I do teach PE every day for 25 minutes, and we'll get a basketball out and we'll start recruiting some if we can.
Doing some dribble drills just
That's
to see
right.
how people size up. Hey, it's good to see you all.
Well,
Congratulations.
if I can say
Scott, on
one
your
more
leadership.
thing,
Yeah, go ahead.
if I could, I
Yeah.
just want to remind people we do have our car show coming up
Uh-oh.
on Saturday, the 10th of September. And the word is we've got close to 200 cars for it.
200?
Biggest we've ever had. And so that come on out there, bring a car, or if you don't have a car, just come out and check it out. So our car show is Saturday, September 10th.
All right, Saturday, September 10th. Father
Thanks, Mark.
Steve, Todd
Thank
Johnson.
you.
Thank you all for coming in from St. Paul School. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got today's water cooler question. Your chance to win coming right up here on In the Know.
Don't miss Sawyer Brown live in concert in Litchfield.
Now the race is on and here comes pride in the backstretch. Heartache.
Sunday, September 4th, Sawyer Brown comes to the amphitheater at Valley Park with special guest Alex Miller.
Through it is.
Sponsored by Grayson County Tourism, Litchfield Tourism, and TNT Construction. Tickets are just $15 in advance online or $20 at the gate. Buy your tickets now from the Grayson County Tourism Facebook page.
Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do.
Bring your lawn chairs rain or shine to the amphitheater at Valley Park for special guest Alex Miller and the headliner, Sawyer Brown. Gates open at 2:30. Spend your Labor Day weekend in Litchfield with CMA Award winner Sawyer Brown.
I got to give credit where credit is due. I thank the bank for the money. Thank God for you.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start October 17th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Rising prices are everywhere, from the gas pump to your electric bill. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives understand that these times are challenging. That is why we're doing all we can to keep your rates competitive and service reliable. We also have programs that provide options to help you manage your bill. To learn more about what we're doing for you, go to togetherwesaveky.com. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. TogetherWeSaveKY.com.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a drop in the bucket of what they'll need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Call the Term Lifeline now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 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 That's 866-549-8376.
Hi, I'm Trooper Derek Holmes with Kentucky State Police. When working traffic across Kentucky, responding to crashes involving injuries or death is a tough part of our job. When you're driving Kentucky roads, there is so much out of your control. But what we do have control over is wearing a seatbelt. Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up. Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives. Less than 2 seconds. That's all it takes. Please always buckle up.
A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Sunny skies and dry weather back into the forecast for your Monday. Highs today into the low to mid 80s. For tomorrow, seeing more of that sunshine, more of those 80s in the forecast. We do climb into the upper 80s by Wednesday. with plenty of sunshine still around. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
The 105 Days of Summer is powered by Litchfield Exterminating here on the Twin Lakes Best Mix K105.
Call you the bandit, an outlaw untamed, shackled only by freedom. You wear no man's chain.
Did you know one trait of intelligent people is being easily annoyed by others, but saying nothing to avoid a meaningless argument?
Wow.
Inside them,
Genius over here.
I bet they wish
I suddenly felt much smarter all of a sudden too.
I'm not going to say anything to not cause an argument.
Oh, the number of motorists. You see that guy over there. You see what that guy did. Here's today's water cooler question. Everybody suddenly felt smarter. But the people then that I never really considered, though, the people that just want to start an argument for no particular reason. It does go back, though, he who knows the least knows it the loudest. Like, yeah, there you go.
You been on social media or something making that comment?
Here's today's water cooler question. If you've yet not won in the last 30 days, you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win by calling, by texting 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. Up for grabs today, we'll have the theme park tickets or the tickets to see the Lumineers on August the 31st. And the question is this: 14% of us have embarrassed ourselves while exercising by doing this. 14% of us have embarrassed ourselves while exercising by doing this. 270-259-6000. Text the answer. The weekend box office. Dragon Ball Superhero, number one, $20.1 million. Beast at 2, Bullet Train at 3, Top Gun Maverick at 4. Top Gun Maverick has now moved past Infinity War as the 6th highest grossing movie of all time. So I watched last night. Something about Tom Cruise doesn't look exactly right in that photograph. His face looks a lot longer or something all of a sudden. But I did turn on The Firm.
Oh.
All right, doesn't that look something?
I don't even know. Is that Tom Cruise?
It is. Something's wrong with his nose.
Doesn't it have to be?
I mean, I don't. I mean, this is just the picture that was given to me.
Huh.
I mean, it's just...
I don't know. That's strange.
Yeah, something doesn't look exactly right there. So congratulations to Top Gun Maverick for moving into that spot. I also am hearing there's a Ferris Bueller sequel in the works, but don't get too excited. They are actually going to write a movie about the two guys that took Cameron's dad's Ferrari for a joyride. When they dropped it off, and Cameron and Sloan and Ferris went to Shea Paul and went to Wrigley Field for the game. Remember, they dropped, and they don't show a whole lot, but they show the mechanic guys or the guys working around the garage there. They go barreling down the street in the Ferrari, and then they bring it back at the end. And of course, the odometer has changed a lot. They're apparently making a movie about that window of time.
Do we need that?
I don't.
If you had just created the movie, what you're doing is you're using a famous brand and then something that doesn't have anything to do with the movie other than something referred to and trying to create new content out of it. So it's like you're using the Ferris Bueller name to get you street cred, but it's not going to have any of the same... The only thing that appears in both movies would be the car, and it can't be the two guys because they've passed. So, but... I don't know. I'm intrigued, but I think it could also blow up in their face a bit. Ally McBeal sequel series in early development at ABC. After about 20 years, Ally McBeal is due for her comeback, but a sequel to the 1997 series is in early development at ABC after the legal dramedy starring Callista Flockhart in the titular role ended its 5-year run at Fox back in 2002. So supposedly, I didn't ever watch this program, honey, so you'll have to make sure I got this right.
I love it.
Ally McBeal, Callista Flockhart, was married to Sam. Can I see that photo of the cast, please? So, all right. So Callista Flockhart, Ally McBeal, the lady to her left that's seated with her, is that her roommate?
Yes.
All right. So the title character in Ally McBeal is supposed to be the roommate's daughter.
Oh.
So, again, kind of goes back to they're grasping at straws here to carry the story forward. That supposedly...
Yeah, I don't think I could.
So, but Callista Flockhart then plays like the aunt role.
Okay. I do love her,
That will be her involvement. So that apparently is how they're trying to move this story forward, but you don't seem particularly excited about it.
No, but I would like to rewatch those again.
They have to be available somewhere on
I'm
something
sure.
that we subscribe to.
That's how I broke my pinky toe.
Watching Ally McBeal?
Well, so, that was when I wasn't recording anything.
Uh-huh.
So I put a load of clothes in the washer or dryer, which was at the back of my apartment.
Right.
So I went running because the theme music came on to the front of my apartment where the living room was, and I caught my right pinky toe on the door facing and broke it.
Ooh.
Good times. That's why it looks deformed.
That doesn't sound so good.
Yeah. But I do love that show.
Is that the answer to the water cooler question?
Broken toe?
Broken toe? No, but it's a good one. Dr. Dre reveals how close he was to dying after his brain aneurysm. Apparently, he was on his way out. He's opening up about how severe his health was when he was hospitalized for a brain aneurysm. He said that he was at Cedars-Sinai Hospital and they weren't allowing anybody to come up, meaning visitors or family or anything like that, because of COVID. But they allowed his family to come in, and he said he found out later they called the family up so they could say their goodbyes because they thought he was gone.
Wow.
He said he didn't visit. His visit to the hospital back in January 2021 was that serious. He didn't think that it was, as he had visits from his mother, sister, and family. But when he found out later, like they were having to keep him alert every couple of hours and do the equivalent of sobriety tests to make sure that he still had brain function. But I don't think anybody realized at that point in time. He said he didn't eat anything for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so I don't think anybody knew how serious it was until later. And then hearing today that Dennis Rodman says he's going to Russia to help free Brittany Griner.
I heard this morning.
So Dennis Rodman says that he will be the saving grace for Brittany Griner. Don't you think that it would be... I mean, I don't want ill to befall Dennis Rodman, but there is a part of me that thinks that if he thinks he's so good at this, or he can be the savior, he might want to make sure that his pockets are empty. He might want to make sure he may find himself in a jail cell right next to Brittany Griner, is my point. And not only do the Russians have Brittany Griner, but they got Dennis Rodman and Brittany Griner. I mean, if you stick your head in the mouth of a lion, don't be surprised if the lion bites your head off. Fair to say?
Yeah.
So, but it will be good entertainment in the meantime. We'll get to a break. We'll come back, see if we've got a winner for today's water cooler question. Point to ponder, chart toppers, and more ahead here on In the Know.
If you want your household to function smoothly, you're going to need to set some rules. Unfortunately, it's not always easy to know where the lines should be drawn. And if you fret about that, here's a suggestion. Don't sweat the small stuff. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. An idea that has helped my wife Jean and me to draw boundaries is to rank behavioral problems in terms of levels. For example, if our boys eat a cookie before dinner, that might be a level 1 offense. Lying is far more serious, say level 3 or 4. The beauty of a system like this is it keeps us from treating every issue as life and death. Still, there are times when I need to be reminded not to take things too seriously. If I get upset over a minor problem, my boys will point it out. My youngest Troy is especially good at this. If he makes a small mess in the kitchen and sees my temperature start to rise, he'll say, "It's not a big deal, Dad." And when he says it so calmly, I realize he's right. It's not a big deal. And that means my boys are learning an important lesson I sometimes forget. Rules and discipline have to be seasoned with patience and humor. And when Troy, in his youthful way, sets me straight, I realize he's applying what I've already taught him to believe. Don't sweat the small stuff. For more parenting insights, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medi-Share right now. Medi-Share is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly healthcare costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medi-Share can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second. And if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE. 877-64-BIBLE.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
Your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
MP's point to ponder for today.
I've got
Okay, so all garbage is composed of different things, but all garbage trucks smell the same. So is there just a universal smell for garbage?
Garbage.
You know, everybody, you know a garbage smell.
Uh-huh.
But yet the things you put in your garbage are the different than the things we put in our garbage. Like, Sam, your garbage, I'll bet, doesn't have watermelon rind in it today.
Well, right now it's probably empty because they've come by. But no, there's no watermelon rind.
That's right. But ours did.
Uh-huh.
But yet the garbage would all smell the same.
Uh-huh.
So why is that?
Science.
I think that's a really good answer. Must be science.
You had an educator in here a few minutes ago. You should have asked him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, he's an educator, but I mean, we're kind of contemporaries, you know. I don't know that he's ever actually taught me anything.
He's taught me plenty.
He has?
About the game of basketball.
All right. That's good.
See, I have to stay on his good side. I have to talk to him a lot here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. That's fine. By the way, I do want to say I didn't get an opportunity to tell him when I do like to point out that about Todd, of all the things that I have liked and admired about Todd over the years, obviously he's coach, been successful or whatever, but he was an outstanding catcher. He was a guard on the basketball team. He was a good basketball player, but he was an outstanding catcher for Cougar baseball. And as Sam, as you know about the game of baseball, your catchers go on to be your best leaders. because they're kind of the on-the-field managers. They see the entire field. They know who's where.
It's the quarterback of...
They're signaling. That's right. They're the quarterback of baseball's defense. And so that's
Your
always...
point guard of basketball.
Kind of always made me think it was like, yeah, that goes on, because it requires you got to have a really good IQ level, baseball IQ level, especially to play that position well. So
You got to be tough as nails, too.
So there, I paid him a compliment after saying he couldn't teach me anything.
After he left and probably got back to St. Paul.
Sure, after he turned his radio off and then was like this. Ba, 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 on television. Oh,
your answer.
7826 knew the answer was falling off the treadmill.
Oh, that was my third one.
Falling off the treadmill. 14% of us have embarrassed ourselves by falling off the treadmill.
I think that was on the water cooler question, I think was Roger's comment on that.
He was, okay. On television tonight, TMZ investigates what really happened to Richard Simmons on Fox. I never thought I would say this out loud.
You're interested?
I'm kind of curious to know what happened to Richard Simmons.
What's it on?
Fox.
Man, Fox is...
I just never really thought that I would watch something that was TMZ created, but I did watch the Manti Te'o Untold over the weekend.
It's on my list.
The world owes Manti Te'o an apology. Without a doubt. On AMC, the season 2 premiere of Kevin Can Tell Himself How Much He Likes Himself. That's not really the title of the show, but I don't want to say what title it really is. On the Food Network, Bobby and Sophie on the Coast. Series premiere, Bobby and Sophie Flay visit Sophie Flay.
I guess it's his daughter?
Maybe, but Sophie Flay is like souffle.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be his daughter and he named her like a souffle? Souffle. Okay. That's the television schedule. Let's see. Today's highlight in history. This day in 1851, the schooner America outraced more than a dozen British vessels off the English coast to win a trophy that became known as the America's Cup. In 1914, Austria and Hungary declared war against Belgium. I think it was over waffles.
Yeah, we can say that.
Belgium was claiming too much credit for the waffles, and
that didn't end well,
Austria
though.
said, But you know who won? We don't call them Austrian waffles.
We do not.
Birthdays today. Carl Yastrzemski is 82. There, I gave accolades to a Red Sox.
Well, he's really good.
Bill Parcells is 80 today. David Chase is 76. Cindy Williams is 74. She played Shirley on Laverne and Shirley. Colin Ray is 61. Ty Burrell is 54. Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. I love Phil.
He plays that role perfectly.
He does. I mean, he just, God love it. You just think, oh, Phil Dunphy. He's such
he's
such an airhead.
Uh-huh.
Kristen Wiig is 48 today.
She's Frozen, right? Isn't she one in Frozen? Or who am I thinking of?
No, you're thinking of Kristen Bell.
Thank you. Okay.
Kristen Wiig is from Bridesmaids and Target Lady. Welcome to Target from Saturday Night Live.
Okay, yeah, I know her now, yeah.
Oh, gone but not forgotten. Let's skip over them. Let's get to the chart toppers.
Nobody worth repeating.
Oh, now actually, Claude Debussy, who the composer of Clair de Lune, I have to mention him. John Lee Hooker in 1917. Norman Schwarzkopf in 1934.
Is he related to Chaffins?
That's where Norman gets his Storm and Norman nickname.
Is that what it is?
From Storm and Norman Schwarzkopf. Rosemary Clooney, number 1, 1952. Half as much.
Kentuckian.
Yep.
When there's no one else around.
I mean, you can't go to Northern Kentucky without mentioning the Clooney family.
Isn't it there in, is it Augusta where they have the Rosemary Clooney International Airport?
Well, there's the Rosemary Clooney house in Lakeside Park, Kentucky.
1961, The Highwayman, number 1 with Michael. Michael, row that boat ashore. Go, Michael, go.
Remember, that was one of the first true songs I learned how to play on the trombone.
On the trombone, on the old sack butt.
And I remember because of it, it kept getting stuck in my dad's head. So he would but I think he only knew Michael Row the Boat Ashore, Hallelujah, was the only line of the song he knew.
War by Edwin Starr was number one. Let's go to My Sharona and the Knack, number one in 79.
Doesn't Weird Al have a...
No, you're thinking of Rick and Bubba, My Chihuahua.
I might be thinking of another.
1, 2, 3, Gloria Estefan, Miami Sound Machine, number one in 88. All right, Puff Daddy, Faith Evans, I'll Be Missing You in 97. Pussycat Dolls, Buttons in 06. And One Direction, Drag Me Down, 7 years ago today.
There was somebody that did By Corona.
By Corona. Oh, that's a little more modern. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. The best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer somebody else up. The best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer somebody else up. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,